Hello and welcome to another packet tracer video, and today we're going to be doing lab 6.2.2.5, which is configuring IPv4 static and default route. So let's get started. First of all, we need 2 router, 2 switch and 2 PC. So let's get 2 PC and a switch, standard network device, switches. You can use the 2960 model. Now for routers, let's use the 1941 model to spread them out. Now you look at the addressing table and to enter all the IP address and subnet mask. So let's take our So take a straight through cable, connect to the fast internet. To switch one is F806. For the right hand side it's F018. So remember to change the name for all the switches and routers. So this will be S3, this is S1, so this will be PCA, PCC, router R1 and R3. So let's take our automatic just to double check the connection. No, straight through cable again, FA05 gigabit 0/1, FA05 same thing, gigabit 0/1. Now we need the serial, the DC serial. Connect over here first so that you have the clock rate over here. Oops, I forgot to. But first of all, we need to off and on the router to add the serial port in. Now off it. Okay, it's on. Now off, serial on. Now we'll be able to use the serial DCE. So serial 0 to 01. For the loopback over here, it's a virtual interface, so later we'll configure that. Now we're configuring R1. Let's go to R1, config. Let's go to 0/1, on 192.168.0.1, subnet mask. S0 power on 10.1.1.1. Subnet mask is 255.255.252. Okay, that's all for router 1. Now for router 3, we're going to go to the gigabit interface. Power on 192.168.1.1. subnet mask. Now for the serial, we need to on and set the clock rate, so we'll be using 1208. 128 10.1112, and subnet mask will be 255.255.255.252. So now we need to configure the loopback interface. So we need to go into the command line, and first we need to set no IP domain lookup. So now you just do interface loopback 0, then you on the port automatically. Now you just add the IP address. You can just copy paste from the lab sheet, space, enter, then you just exit. Now we are going to do for the next one, interface loopback 01. Same thing, the port will automatically turn itself on. Add the IP address and the subnet mask. Copy and paste, and you're done. Now we just need to configure the PCA and PCC. Sorry. Desktop IP config 192.168.0.10 Now for the default gateway 192.168.0.1, set to a dot, just making sure it's correct. Now we move on to PCC 192.168.1.10, 192.168.1.1. Okay, now we're done for the table. Now we can move on to the lab sheet. So for all these configurations, it's basic, you should know by now. Then now I'll move on to the interface. So we already did this just now. As you can see, the clock rate is 128.000. Now we can test the connectivity by pinging from each PC to the default gateway that's been configured for the host. So from PCA, you're going to go to the command prompt. You're going to ping the default gateway of PCA, which is 192.168.0.1. It should work. If it's a success, you'll be able to see the replies. Send 4 packet, receive 4, lost 0. Now for PCC, I'm gonna ping the default gateway. Go to the command prompt, ping. Let's move this over to get the default gateway 192.168.1.1. Yes, and it's a success. So let's move on. Next step is test the connectivity by pinging between the directly connected routes. From R1, is it possible to ping? So from R1, is it possible to ping S0/0/0 interface on R3? So R3 interface the IP address. We need to get there. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the command line. You're going to exit. Then you're going to type ping. I'm going to paste this. Oh, it can't be done in this. You need to, yes, over here. Paste, enter. As you see, it's pingable. You should be able to ping. So if your answer is no, you should check all your steps in the previous pages above to make sure it's all correct first. If yours is successful, let's move on. So now from PCA, is it pingable to PCC? So PCC is 192.168. Paste it. Okay, as you can see, the ping failed as because the computer doesn't know about this network over here, because the computer only knows the network is currently in. So that's what we're going to learn today. We're going to learn how to ping from one network to another network. So let's close this. From PCA to loopback interface, it should also fail. Ping. Let me go get the loopback interface IP address over here. Control C, paste. Yeah, I should say destination host unreachable. Okay, next, the next loopback. As you can see, destination host unreachable. That's correct. Okay, let's close this. So for the question over here, you can just say no, no, then why isn't the ping successful? You can just say it's because the two PCs are in different network. Okay, next, step 5. Check the status of the interface on R1 with the show IP interface brief. So let's go enable show IP interface brief. So let's check is R1, how many interfaces are active on R1? Your answer should be 2. Yeah, 2. And for R3, let's go into the command line, exit, show IP interface brief. Answer for R3 should be 4. Now we're going to view the IP route. Is the routing table in the router. So IP route. So as you can see, letter C means connected, L means local. So what networks are present in the addressing table but not in the routing table? So the difference will be the loopback interfaces, because it's in different networks. Okay, now we are going to create an IP route. It's on the on router 1, configure a static route to this. So router 1, first you need to go to config mode, IP route, the IP route 192.168.1.0 of the serial interface of the next router, because we're going to the next hop. I forgot the subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Yeah. Default route without gateway if not may impact performance. Next hop on R3. S000. Okay. Okay, if you're facing this problem, what you can do is you can just change the serial interface to the IP address. So what's the next IP following from this to here? IP route 1. Oh no, wrong. It's the one. Serial interface on R3 is the next hop address. Oh, it's the IP address, that's all, my bad. So just copy the 10.1.1.2, paste. Yeah, it should work. Next, how is the new route listed? So from now you can check how the route is like inside the router. Now you can exit, show IP route. Then you can see S over here. S means it's statically put into the router, which you just did. So you should be able to ping from PCA to PCC. The first one will always fail. You just need to try again. If you do this without configuring the other way, it will fail, as because the router only knows how to go here but not to come back. So we need to configure another route. On router 3, the same thing. You need to exit, go to global config mode, config T. Then you need to go IP route 192.168.0.0. Don't forget your subnet mask 0. And now we will look at the serial interface, the opposite side, on router 2, which will be on router 3. Configure a route using the S0 exit interface. So instead they want you to use the exit interface on your own router. So that makes if you want to get back a command, just press up. /0/0. That's weird. It's not. If not, since the interface isn't working, we can use the next hop IP address. so we can use 192.168 instead to route back. So it will work now. Let's give it a try. PCA to PCC, successful. So it's either you can use the exit interface where it's coming out of the router, or the IP address of the next device. So now we can move on to, we're done with this. Now I can configure static routes. On R1, configure a static route to this network using one of the static route from the previous steps. Write the command you use. R1 with no command to remove. Use the no command to remove the static route for the 2 loopback address. Configure a static route. Oh, so they want us from router 1. They want us to configure to the loopback address now. So IP route. Just you need to go to config T, IP route 1. The IP route. So we need to route to this IP that they want us to. So let's paste this. So the subnet mask, I need to go check again. So it's 255.255.224. So from R1 to R2, it's going to be R1 to R2. We can use the write the command you use. So let's use the IP address of this router. So R3, it's 192.168. Let's paste this at the back. Just make sure you got your spacing and enter. Now we need to configure another route, which is for the other loopback interface. Which what you can do is just copy paste. Did this, let's do this. Okay, so just press enter. So we now need to redo the first IP route we did, as because the subnet is wrong. So what you can do is you just put a no statement at the start, then you just redo the IP route. So IP route, the subnet was supposed to be 20. So enter. Okay, we are done. Now we should be able to ping this R3 success. Now we'll move on to the last one, which is a default static route, which means it's a route where there's no other route, so you use this route as a last resort. So let's go to R1. Exit first. Let's go to config T, IP route 0.0.0.0.0. Then the IP address of the next hop or the interface. So let's go to router 3 again. Okay, but before that we need to remove all the other routes in here. Now once we are done with this, let's remove all the other routes. So let's do show IP route. So as you can see, it's S star means default static, the star means default static. So let's try to ping. We need to remove the loopback first. So this IP, copy, exit, config T, IP route. Let's remove this. No IP route. Same for the other IP route. No IP route. IP address was 168. Okay, now let's try the route. That works. So that's all. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Bye.